Well, Tabe's a great coach. I can't pretend like I know what's going through his head, but I imagine he's cooking something up. I think he's really good at knowing what other teams want to do, and I think he'll try to draft in a way that kind of takes T1 away from their comfort or takes them off a comp that they're going to be really knowledgeable in playing. So I don't think they're too stressed. Obviously, they just won a game pretty handily, so I think they'll just try to get comfortable champs for themselves, maybe throw off T1, and yeah, they can probably do it.
Well, there's 20 seconds. Give us the hope.
I'm definitely a bit worried for T1, but they've been in these spots where they are under a lot of pressure. The one thing is that it's a best of 3, so that's rough. You're right up against the ropes right after game number 1, so you just gotta win it from here.
All right, here we go. T1 and AGAL, the reigning titleists. Hopes on the line. Let's send it on over to 2 great blokes in the STC arena.
Oh man, it is intense. It is intense out here. What do we think? Can you clutch up in 2 here?
Yes!
You think?
Yes!
What do you think?
Yes, they're gonna win!
Well, I'll tell you what, T1's chances of retaining their trophy here at EWC are in danger, and these fans think AGAL will win game 2. What do we think? Is it going to be AGAL?
Well, Ian, if we learned anything about T1 over all these years, is that they do not break, they bounce back. T1 fans, let them hear you!
Fancy. MSI Revenge on the cards. A spot in the grand final of League of Legends at EWC. They won it. Let me hear you, fans of AGAL! That's all I'm saying.
It's best of 3, it's fearless strat. There's still so much room for T1 to come back. One more time, T1 fans, make some noise! There is a chance for AGAL to make history right here. T1 key at the Esport World Cup has never been broken before. Will this be the time? Let's find out with the casters.
T1 got pulverized in game 1. I'm sorry, T1 fans, that's just the reality. They got destroyed, beaten, battered. Like they were deep fried, pulled out, yum yum in AL's tum. I can tell you one thing. Game 2 better show us a little bit more because they didn't really get to play League of Legends in this best of 3 yet.
Yeah, now on the blue side, the drafting becomes a little bit easy. You can dictate a little bit more how you want to approach it. Taking out the Orianna, the Nico, and the Vi. My eyes are on that Talia. Will it be banned or will it go through this banning phase?
Yeah, it could be high priority if it does go through. It was Alistair banned by AL on the blue side. That is now being subbed out for a Nico by T1, so that will be available this time around. Obviously, a lot of picks taken away with it being fearless. Cases Zaya taken, I feel like the Talia has to be high prior, especially denying that away from Shanks. We'll see if T1 feel the same way.
Wonder what AL's response would be. I would be very surprised if the Talia doesn't come through here from T1. There's no real staple pick that is up and available that can kind of outshine that, so that will be locked away by Faker. And now Flandre and Tarzan, what do you want to pick?
I feel like if we're talking about Shanks though, as early, even though the Galio's here, that's an option. We think Rise an option. Depends where that Galio's going, but it is blind and usually picked into an AP mid, right? If it is AP early.
I mean, it could be predicting because what we often see with this Talia first pick is now a Rumble to free blinding that top lane and picking that together with an AD skirmish jungler. So usually you're fine taking that mid, but you also could up in a situation where you can kind of flex that into the Rumble if so needed.
Yeah, especially with the Aurora already gone, having that Galio secured as an answer to the Rumble kind of limits options for T1. Yeah. So you see the Corki picked up something we've seen rising a bit in priority. You know, Ruler had a great game on it the other day, so that has been secured for Community in the bot lane. You could just pick up the Alistair here if you want to pair up and take that pick that was banned in the first rotation last time around, although I think picking Alistair blind does have some drawbacks, but obviously a pick that Carrier has a lot of confidence in.
Seems to be the Skarner Corki being paired up. I mean, this is one of the best, I think, tank jungle responses into the Xingqiu. You can kind of lock him down in before he gets that ult up. I don't know about this Corki. What this Corki offers T1 is a lot of early game prio. You can kind of dictate those trades early, and as you highlighted, maybe try to get some early things going on. Alistar, as you said, was banned game 1, up and available. Could very well be the pick for Kyle.
And there's no Silas to be picked, is there? Like, we've already got the Talia locked in, so I feel like that's safety net here for AL.
I think this feels so good as a support player, not just to have the Alistar, but the Galio as well. Like, you're such a tanky support, and you know you have the backing of, you know, a mid laner who can drop in on top of you. It means you can play with such confidence and super aggressively. They do ban out the Poppy as well, just to ensure that KL has best time possible on this pick.
I think this is what they saw when they realized Talia would be open. That they would probably get that Alistar coming later, so taking out that Saya really early in the ban phase, great foresight by the AL drafting team, and really securing themselves now, because now they can target all those annoying support matchups. 2 of them are already being out. Bramrel are solid answers into the Alistar. Now Bard and Poppy taking away, as you probably look for the AD carry here. I would assume something that is fine playing by itself and allowing Alistar to kind of go deep in those fights.
Yeah, to me the Senna really stands out. I would have thought that T1 would have banned it, because Senna Alistar has been such a strong lane at this tournament. Senna's been performing so well. You have so much protection for this pick, and you're just going to be able to outrange as the game goes on, and it really puts T1 on a bit of a timer.
Smelling a little Door and Renekton here. I think that's just a hunch I get with the Ornn ban and all these melee champions by AL. It would be a good top lane pick, I think, for that blind. If you go for the Rumble, I feel like you're just walking into the plan of AL, so some kind of switch up would be nicer, and it could be one of the options. There's also that Ambessa, but Ambessa doesn't really make sense with the Ornn ban, so that's why I'm thinking it could be a Renekton or something
Also,
similar.
if you pick the Ambessa, Renekton's still up and available, right? And I know it's not always commonly paired with Xin Zhao. You and I were talking about this morning over breakfast, but there are options into it, so it feels like the Galio first pick has cornered T1 a bit, unless, as you said, Doran just goes to that tank matchup and just pulls through it. 5 seconds. What's it going to be? Oh, really?
They end up going back to the Rumble. I mean, it is the most standard pick. It is the meta top laner that almost everyone picks on blue side if they have that ability to blind. Just that ultimate ability together with the Skarner Rakan. So much setup. Just has that team fight presence, even if the lane doesn't go well. But you walk right into Flandre's Yorick, who he has been so good on. This matchup is really nice because Yorick has that early game sustain in that, I think it's some, I don't know the ability of the Q name, but yeah, with that Q, and together with that W, you can lock down the Rumble inside the cage, and he really struggles to get out of it if he doesn't have flash.
I feel like as well, you know, typically with the Slayer, you have a lot of side lane support, but the Galio's there to match it. You also have the Senna ultimate, so if you play heavily through sides with the Yorick, you have the backing of your team.
So I was going to ask you guys, if you think AL's comp, is it doing too many things at once? Or do you feel like layering is fine? They've got scaling, side lane's been a conversation. What do you think, Finn?
Look, I feel like AL has dictated this draft phase from red side.
They have.
And that is very difficult to do most of the time. Most of the time it is red side responding to whatever blue side wants to do. But I really like what they have done. They've secured a lot of comfort picks, a lot of something they feel good about. And I think that is the most important thing when you are drafting. You gotta make sure your players are comfortable and confident playing those champions that you as a coach have given to them.
Well said.
I feel like as well, getting the Senna Alistar is just such a powerful duo. We've seen do so well at this competition. And, you know, we saw the game before be really one-sided towards AL, but if this one goes a bit longer, gets a bit messier, then you're going to have such a reliable late game with that long-range pick.
I do feel like T1, the onus is on them. The team that got to the MSI finals only recently. It's been a narrative that's been pumped in your head, and I apologize, but you know, story is so important when you have the storied organization of T1. Their history in League of Legends is nothing but sublime. Their road has been nothing but impressive. Their players are nothing but exceptional. But anyone's legend, these upstarts put to the wayside, have had to climb up through the LPL, have done the damage in game 1. Match point as we head back onto Summoner's Rift. Is it going to be a 2-0? Can T1 pull something out of the bag for this one and finally take us all the way in our first semi-final? I can't hear the arena, but I hope there has been a Hanadu set, and I hope there Jayo is filling the arena as well. We know the crowd's there for it. We need to get, crowd people, organize one person, get it done. If it goes to a game 3, please get it done. Tarzan invade starts with Faker as well. There's going to be good damage here, but 45 seconds, Tarzan can put a defensive ward and probably just back away. Okay, it's gleaming crawl start from Carrier, so it's no CC. Shanks also walks it out, and again, it's only a minute into the game, so there is time to back away here if Shanks can get his recall off.
Yeah, just a bit of chip damage. Tarzan doesn't need to reset. Obviously, doesn't stay in this now, but
jungle as well.
Ward just come down from Owner there just to get some information. I feel like getting a good early start for T1 is important as well. You know, we've seen this Corky, we've seen it at this tournament, we've seen it sometimes really thrive in the hands of like Ruler. We saw a game from Sven where it really didn't have the impact. I feel like especially in a matchup like this, you need to make use of the early prior it can achieve. And you need to make sure that when you hit that 2-item spike, you're in a position to capitalize on it.
Yeah, I want to see T1 try to look for some early stops with their tempo. I think the sooner you get Rumble out of that matchup, when Yorick gets a little bit of levels, the better. When early game Rumble will have that control, probably not level 1. Yorick's level 1 is very powerful with all that healing, but the moment the wave bounces, that's when the Rumble Flame Spitter just starts having all so much poke, and
yeah.
It really becomes about that level 6 spike when Yorick can start contesting. So much damage is just loaded into that Maiden, and usually, like, when you ult as Yorick, some champions can, like, poke her down across multiple waves and eventually kill her. And when you kill her, she goes on cooldown. So that is really your goal when you play against Yorick when you ult. If you can kill his Maiden, it goes on a 2-minute cooldown. And that's a big power dip of him. So Rumble kind of struggles with that, I think. He can't really walk up to try to poke her down without getting caught in the cage. So
it's on theme. He has the pandas.
Hell yeah. I just realized that's not uncanny, it's intentional from Flandre. Tarzan's passing top, by the way. If you didn't know where junglers are, they're all heading up towards this top lane, and I think, Finn, with what you've set up, top does feel like the most volatile lane early, that can really run away with the game, that can really control tempo up here, and getting grubbed early on either Rumble or Yorick also, I think is pretty impactful when these guys are menaces in side lanes early too.
Yeah, Yorick getting those grubs really accelerates his tower taking. If he's left alone with a tower, that's dead in like 5-6 seconds with that demolish proc. Doran might look for a little barbecue here.
Have a look. No little pandas out.
No cage. He has 2 points in his queue, I've realized, Flandre.
Oh, really?
So he's really playing for those later levels, really valuing that sustain it gives him, and probably won't try to fight too much at this bounce, because I think his jungler wants to go for the bot grab, seeing how the lanes are playing out.
Thanks to take the heavy chunk, and early on is Galio.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time in mid, he just gets chunked out versus range.
Tarzan's in a bit of a delicate position because all 3 lanes of T1 have prior at this point, so he wants to really avoid Owner. Has cleared up his jungle, so there's really anything for Owner to take away at this point. He is going to cross to the bot side, pick up that scuttle, and Flandre is healthy enough that he's not really under pressure for dive. So Tarzan,
let's see, maybe a swap coming out here. No, never mind, they're banning. I saw both T1 side laners trying to base there on the same wave. I think they were trying to look for a swap, but saw Carrier got stopped actually, or Gumushi got stopped in the bot side, so Doran interrupted his recall, and I think they still want to look for that swap. It looks like that is the play they're aiming for, and they're just gonna have to delay it 1 or 2 waves.
Nice from Shank, shielded Duran. Faker, there's another Justice Punch coming, or rather pummeled down. His wins were almost up. Shank's really good trade here, and he's gonna get the minions as well.
It's one of these trades where,
Oh! Sees him, Faker stops it. Shanks takes the turret shot for it, not bad.
Yeah, if he stops him be able to recall, then that's actually pretty favorable. But Faker was looking at TP back in. Problem is, because Shanks has been his TP already and is low, he would be kind of stuck with the HP. If he gets the wave in, he'll be able to get a reset off.
Orcs, was it the other day, was it yesterday, the day before, we were casting T1? We're like, oh, Faker's in trouble, where's Owner on the way? Well, he's just moved to Raptor camp. He's nearby. And he's got to make sure that his star carry is in an okay position. So that coverage is probably really important as Faker tries to back again. On your minimap, he has just actually cancelled his recall. Wave's getting pushed in once more, but Faker's low on mana.
Shanks is just keeping him trapped in the lane in an uncomfortable spot. You know, Faker desperately wanted to get this recall off, and now, you know, Shanks going to be able to get a second recall off his own.
Yeah, so here they are doing the swap, and because both junglers passed towards top their first time, they kind of don't want to go for this dragon, because going for the dragon would mean really delaying their second camp respawn. So both of them are going to end up here after the swap, Cork is going to be here alone, getting a lot of solo XP against his Yorick. So you see Keria, he doesn't actually recall and come here. Doran stops his
Flash. Boy, flash for flash. Flandre now down, and the recall cancelled. The delay here, favorable for T1.
Yeah, as you see, that bot wave is pushing back into T1,
again,
so delaying those bases are just so good, because every second that Flandre spends here is seconds while his wave is dying.
He's trying to bait Gumi.
Oh, man.
Flandre cancels again, but look, Tarzan he backed away. So he's going to be mega late to this, and Teleport's going to have to be burned, but let's see how much of the wave he loses.
Now as well, Flandre being flashless, you know, puts him in a really uncomfortable spot, threatening for Owner to potentially look for a gang.
Just one wave, I think Flandre had to drop there.
Okay.
He will be fine there on the bounce. But while Doran waits to catch the wave, he will go and help on this dragon. Does not have the equalizer in case AEL would like to contest, but looks like they are taking their sweet time.
Indeed. Tarzan's going to move in, though. Maybe off the back end for a steal. He's stacking up Q. Getting close. All in. No. Owner gets it, but the knockup comes through anyway. No impale yet, but the hero's entrance is going to manage a way in for Shank. Seismic shot doesn't work out against wall. Tarzan is in a 1v2 over that wall. We look at the fight on the right as Tarzan flashes in a 1v2, and he wins out. Meanwhile, top lane's dead. IL converged on one position, and LPL once again is Jayoing through a second game. A second kill down at that as Keria runs for his life. There's no flash again on Flandre, so Keria's going to buy as much time as possible, but as the ghouls are sent out, the mini pandas, all it takes is one more hit. Keria's been aggroed up, so it's a kill eventually. And AL, it will be 3. No, make it 4, because Faker's now caught out as well on mid-wave. His flash is available, but he's trying to walk it out, get the move speed, which will succeed. But AL's early game, only mitigated by the fact that Hope is now flashed.
And that's what happens when you use your ultimate on the Rumble to stop bases. Suddenly you cannot take those early game skirmishes that usually would be favored for you. T1 starts the Dragon, one ult down, and Tarzan instantly recognizes that this is a good time to fight. All of AL come in, the TPs kind of come in, and it ends up being a really favorable fight for AL. You see Tarzan here, sees Owner, and now you see him think about, wait, he doesn't have ult. We're one ult up here. Galio comes in from mid lane, being so fast to follow up, and now Doran is just caught up in a weird position. Kind of has to flash out of that, but that would probably end up leading to his demise anyway. Kale comes in with a beautiful flash, headbutt pulverize combo, and it's just an easy cleanup for AL.
I feel like Tarzan had such confidence going into that play, and T1 just felt like they weren't ready for the contest. They weren't ready for the response, and for AL to just jump in and fight them on that dragon. And obviously the objective was already gone, but the kills go over to AL, and once again they're coming into this point of the game with a bit of a lead. 1,000 gold in favor of AL right now. Void Grubs does get picked over, does get taken over by T1 though, so Dragon in pocket and 3 Void Grubs is a positive for them.
I feel like Grubs against Yorick is nice, especially when Finn, you were just talking about how it is so cool to start a Yorick game with triple Grubs, or at least some part of it. So Flandre does get the double kill, but he doesn't have as much pushing power as T1 now acquire with that top side objective.
I think you take those trades though if you're AL at this stage. I'd be quite happy getting a few kills and a dragon and some flashes on Yorick instead of getting those grubs. I think now Doran is being left alone here. Tries to look for something. He's gonna get a little bit chunked, but most likely we're gonna see him equalize this wave. Unless Owner will try to come down.
I was going to ask you, Finn, in the 2v1, who do you favor here? Because it feels like 3 souls for Hope. But it also feels like on the other side, Yorick in a range matchup feels a bit bad. Yes, he did get the cannon. Nice one.
I think AL would really like to match these lanes just because how strong the Yorick is right now. He has so much pressure onto the Rumble. So Doran being able to play here 1 versus 2 is ulting the wave. I think he's very happy about this. Good mismatch by T1, trying to really kind of like get back into the game, get a little bit of tempo lead, ulting that wave, gets the base on the Rumble, and honestly, they're slowly stabilizing the game again and looking to set up their next play.
I feel like as well, the Senna's damage at this point in the game is kind of limited, you know, as long as Doran doesn't make too many mistakes, he kind of brush off the damage, but the Corki actually does hurt, so Flandre does have to respect that threat.
Now, junglers were hovering just around mid while you're talking Orcs, and Tarzan pulls off. Toda's Owner on the side. Shank's good sidestep there as he's keeping up in CS with Faker in this lane. And constantly these Winds of War are getting better trades off, but Faker dodges that one away. It is the next Dragon in minute 20 they're angling for as Keria predicting. Lens, oi. Okay, Gleaming Cool not going to stop the back here, so Sundered Sky is picked up nice and early for Tarzan here on this Xin Zhao, and I remember his Xin Zhao at MSI. I've seen Tarzan plenty of Xin Zhao throughout the years.
Yeah, big jungle spike lead here from AL. Sadly, owner stuck with Koma's belts, just sitting in his inventory waiting. Gumishi gets out of that cage. Maybe we can try to kill this panda maiden that meows for some reason.
You don't like it?
I mean, it's a cat, crazy cat Lady Yorick skin, but because with the chroma, you just get the pandas, but they still meow.
Carrier goes.
Meow.
He's caught out. He's got no flash available. Look, he's got 5 seconds on his flash. He's going to battle dance away. Luckily, with the quickness, he gets the movement speed, but Carrier almost got punished for that lack of summoner while we look towards the top, and Doran is caged for the time being. Flandre gets a little bit low, but Panda Maiden is going to walk away. So, okay for Flandre for the time being.
Yeah, a little rough from Shanks there. Doesn't manage to connect onto Carrier. And
oh, another back cancelled.
Look at the wave, though. It's crashing. Go get your wave, Doran. Run from the pandas.
I feel like that's something that playing the Rakan into Galio feels kind of bad. Way back in the day when Galio was played support, it was actually a pretty bad matchup for Rakan because you know, it's so easy to land that CC on him. If you channel the taunt, very hard to avoid. So, you know, one nice thing this game is you do have the spellbook, so you can pick up that cleanse at some point and use that as a tool just to, at least in one team fight, evade the threat. But otherwise, definitely a little bit dangerous for Carrier.
I'm looking for a play here.
Flandre did flash away at the start of it, but Kael's covering really nicely, and the Maiden's out as well. Look at the healing, even after the Impale. I think Flandre might be cheering because he won't die with his wife by his side. Kael trying to buy time, and all he needs is to pulverize the pop away, and again, the wife keeps hitting. I see the meow in my eyes, and I see the meow in my ears, but T1, they're not going to step any far closer because they know that Flandre will bop him again.
Great read by Kael there. AL seeing the dragon being there. Kael is like...
On a ward. Kael has flashed as well, and Ona's rejoined the fray. But again, this 2v2 didn't work the first time. It will not work again. Ona over the wall wants to throw a rock, but Kael too far away. There's flashes down, and T1 have to walk away.
I actually think in the initial play, Kael made a bit of a mistake because Doran had aggro and he did a combo on him when he could have just headbutted him back on the tower.
True.
And because he had the fitted ashes, he would have got aggro again even if he had left the tower. So I think Doran definitely should have died there, but T1 managed to get away without losing a member. So it was good timing from the AL support to be there, but I think maybe the different execution could have definitely guaranteed them at least one kill.
Definitely showing awareness on the map, thinking about everything. Doesn't want to give T1 a single inch back into this game. That's Shanks. Pushes out bot lane. Looks like he wants to look for a recall. And maybe... he stays actually. Let's see. Maybe he will find a little bit of a cheeky play on Faker here. Wants to stop his base.
See if he can. Winds of War would get the range for that. But next objective, just to walk everyone towards where we're angling, is that 1 minute 25 for Herald up in topside. First item's getting picked up across the board, and for Hope, that's always good news. Despite the fact he doesn't really have any souls in this game, 23 at 13. That's probably one of the lowest soul counts we've seen at EWC so far, but I guess it's just also with the lane assignments that T1 have opted for as Shanks. Nice trade.
So also when you swap against the Senna and you have like a Rumble doesn't really have to walk up to clear the wave.
Yeah,
he can just stand and farm with E really far away, and then if they have a big wave they're stacking, just ult it. It becomes really hard for Senna to really farm any stacks on him, really delaying those spikes, thresholds that you really want to hit on the Senna. Gumiushi kind of chilling.
I feel like as well, when you get to this point of the game, often you can farm stacks to the enemy carry in mid, but Corki actually matches Senna quite well in terms of how their trade patterns are, you know, quite short and bursty. So if you actually walk up to the Corki, you can take a heavy trade that you kind of want to avoid if he goes for that burst. So it's not as easy as in some other matchups where you just walk up, you auto Q, you back off, because if you do that to Guma, he will punish you.
I think as well, when we're talking about, you know, first items on the board, second on the way, Guma, the one who is actually leading in this game, thanks to the healthy CS lead that he's maintained. He's the threat to watch out for. Look at that. You know, Manamune is soon to be on the way. Trinity Force in pocket, and 5 seconds till the Herald. T1 are on the objective first. It's AL who have to walk in and make the play.
Look at this mid wave here. Gumiushi has the priority from the mid lane. They will probably look to start it here with that push, but while Doran was roaming down here, Shanks has already pushed the wave and kind of missed the timing there, and it's going to be a long dance around this river to try to get a little bit of vision back, get those pink wards in the bushes, and try to get a little bit of lead. As Flandre now looks to TP in there. He wants to seal the deal.
Okay, so it started up for AL. As you said, Flandre coming in, puts pressure on T1's back. Carrier looking for an engage angle. Doran's coming in with Equalizer back up and available, but only level 10 here. Wave getting pushed by AL, thanks to Hope, as AL group up as 5. The Weaver's Wall coming in as well. The poke begins as Faker. Ulti's in, but the center ult lines down as AL are going to take themselves a Bernie hot as Carrier jumps in, but he's a little bit early. The Impale, though, not too bad. But bringing in the Galio, maybe not. Maybe T1 just have to abandon. With the Herald down, though, a flick back brings the fight into its second phase. It's Faker who zones out with Owner getting away with the Sling of Health as Herald's just going to be dropped straight away. A wall around Doran with a shield of Durant. It's a shield of Doran. He will not pass. Guma tagged out. Tarzan zoned away, but the range is immense. AL just keep going forward, and T1 keep losing out.
AL playing around their cooldown so well to get the edge in that fight. Will use the Herald on top of that to get the mid-tier 1, getting everything they want and more from that fight.
And this is the first team from the LPL really showing why they are so respected in the region, with great team fighting, really well poised fights there to take. They were all so ready to turn the moment T1 walked up into that Herald. They were leaving the Maiden to hit it, and they were all walking towards that banana bush, as we call it, where the fights are bound to happen.
I just think it was the fact that they, found a target, used their cooldowns, and then patiently waited for the next rotation. And it was that constantly moving forwards, wait a bit, move forwards, wait a bit. And it just didn't really give any windows for T1 to answer back.
I really like how Shanks played that fight. I feel like he went in and really used his CC and face rush well here. You see the massive Senna ult. Owner is stuck in the cage, and now you're going to see Shanks really go for the re-engage here with the Galio. Almost being played. Actually, it wasn't that. That was before in the fight. Here you see them weaving in and out, really chipping, never overcommitting into these Faker rocks, never overcommitting into the Flame Spitter, just really playing into the ranges and looking for those crucial skills like the Yorick cage that finds Doran in the end by the edge.
Doran's caged up by the Yorick, the Galio as well. Like, the CC in one place is so huge. Faker did a lot of damage, but it just wasn't enough.
I mean, that's the thing. So much damage done by Faker and Guma, and so many low health bars on AL, which is why it's so clear that AL had to play it to that level to win the team fight, because T1 were pumping damage, and they used the health bars as resources.
While mid's getting pushed, Tarzan's like down in front of the tier 3 turret, keeping Doran from the wave. I mean, it's another Tarzan masterclass, just like game 1 on the Trundle. Game 2, I have seen this since out before. There is a reason that Tarzan is the best jungler in the LPL, that this guy has consistently remained in a top 3 conversation. This guy consistently is a hot prospect whenever he is between teams.
I also really want to praise Flandre. I feel like he's had such a good series. That game 1 Aurora Flash, those mechanical prowess that I feel like people can say that Flandre is more like this tank player. He doesn't really play the carry, so doesn't have that high mechanical skill. I feel like he shut those people up this series, really showing why he's so respected in Asia and as a top laner in general. And I think on his signature Yorick, that is becoming one of his staples. I feel like he's showing great presence in this game, and is going to be a menace on that side lane.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Second item almost on the way. That's going to be a Sterix Gauge by the look of it as well. Unless we do go for a Hull Breaker second spin.
I think maybe a Shojin is quite common here as well.
Okay.
Because that spell damage increase really works well with your ghouls that jump. Like you land the E, you Q the minions, and then when they jump, you get that increased damage, and just really facilitates your DPS.
True.
On the side lane. You can also go for the Steraks if you really want to hone in on the team fights, make sure you don't die, but I think most of the time we see that Shojin come in here, because Breaker more for solo queue classic, while this is competitive staple.
Let's have a look. He's got a control ward, but I feel like Flandre would have backed on a little bit more gold than 75, so give me 2 seconds. As soon as we get rid of this gold difference over time, we'll be able to tell you what we're looking at for the next Dragon, next Atakan, or rather only Atakan. Actually, no item picked up. It's just a control ward, so probably sitting on the max of components.
Someone who mentioned there's a lot of vision control towards that top side by T1.
There is.
We do see L moving over. But I feel like this is one of these things when the game is in this sort of position. If they don't establish vision there, if T1 see a window, they are a team who would jump on an opportunity just to start up an objective when they feel like the game is pulling away from them. So immediately AL objective is there, they move over, notice they have a lack of vision in this area.
Shanks, I mean Faker just weaving behind lanes. He opened bot there, looked if Yorick was going to overextend, and he was around mid, looking on the mid wave, and now finally catches the wave. Really using Natalia, as we know, like she's so fast on the map and she can really join anywhere action happens. So that's really what he's got to do in these stages, Faker. You got to just weave around when you have some downtime.
Hang on, Cage is up as well, and Doran kept in it for a little bit with the Maiden up. Doran is getting bopped around. Flandre is looking for the solo kill with Flash. It's easy. Bump him on the head. Flandre digs the grave for Doran.
Finds a solo kill. Nothing Doran can do. Ult doesn't even go off, and now that turret is going to be forfeit as well. This side lane proven to be a problem for T1.
Flandre having a monster series today, just really showing why he should be respected in that paragon of top laners globally right now. On his Yorick, that he always finds so much success. He's one of the only players that makes this champion work still. Really knows the limits there, and why it's so scary to play against the Yorick when you're playing a champion without a dash.
True.
Because when you get stuck in that cage, you gotta flash out or you're gonna eat a barrage of bonks on the head with that shovel.
And now because of that as well, TP advantage. Doran has to come up and TP as well, but Flandre, we're going to begin the Otacon. It's up to T1 to stop it.
Run Otacon is all about the top lane push, but Kale goes in.
Galio old AL have already found off the play. You can see that Shanks is just going to layer on with the equalizer down. T1 might have a chance, but no. Tarzan ulti mitigates it all. Bob back in. Kyle is the only low member, and Flandre zones off Faker. Shanks with the Winds of War. It's a 3-man. Kyle is still low, so there's no follow-up. T1, no. Okay, we've done a bit of damage, but is it enough? With the Weaver's Wall, Faker wants to re-engage, but on the right side, all wrong is Hope. As onto Shanks, they're going to 4-man this while Otacon's going down, but Kerry almost dies. Shanks running away. There's no kill. There's no trade. And at this rate, there is going to be no T1 at EWC.
Beautiful patience by AL, killing Owner, instantly stops the chase, instantly turns into the Otacon, knowing the smite is gone, forcing T1 to all kind of scramble and rush to try to get into that pit, but in the end, getting that crucial advantage, getting that Otacon just by that beautiful pick and beautiful engage by Kyle and Shanks together.
Shanks is buying so much time for his team and still somehow doesn't go down. Gumayusi was pumping damage throughout that fight and still just unable to find the kills the team needs, so big boon over to AL there. They get a reward for Flandre's solo kill, gave them the control over that area that they needed, and now Dragon spawning up in 10 seconds, they're moving straight towards it.
I don't know if you saw, but if you look at the inventories of AL, everyone is hitting their second item spike.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, T1 is hitting on one components. It's a difficult...
Oh, what a route. What a route. Faker caught up, but for now it's okay. Kyle takes a heavy chunk as well. Pop back in, his ulti there. It's a ruse, it's a bait, and Shanks knows it. Double shielded around. Flandre whopping away. The Scorpion King now dead. No longer the one as 3 members tagged up. 2 on the wind to become lightning. And Faker down in the dirt. The fight is ending. T1 are dying, and anyone's legend are rising to the throne.
Flandre and AL are dancing on T1. Have you seen his movements? The sidesteps on the shoves. That Yorick is a menace. He puts out so much damage in these fights, and they use everything into Kale, but burning his ult and getting out. It just seems like T1 ran out of gas.
The amount of times AL members have walked out of fights with slithers of health, it feels like they're using the health bars as resources, able to play with T1, find the fights they want, and being rewarded with a huge lead now. It's already 1-0 in the series, and the reigning champs, they're not looking in a good spot to bounce back in this series.
It was one game that was a statement, but 2 games in a row, that's just class right now from anyone's legend.
Yeah, look at Kale. He's being engaged on, but that ult gets out of the Skarner ult, and now suddenly T1 are so deep, and now pay attention to Flandre. He's just left alone there, 1 bonk on the head, and now this little cute sidestep, boom! So slick, gets the chase, and with it Otacon slow AoE, it's just an easy chase down for AL and the Dragon to follow.
Look at Hope. Hope was chasing this last kill.
Oh, it does end up going down. Kale goes in on low HP, helps to finish off, but I just think the use of some of these cooldowns, the CC, the cage, and like Tarzan with the wind become lightning, getting 2 with it, applying that slow, they're just working so well as a unit to chase down members. And once more, Gumayusi pumping damage, most damage in that team fight, but once more, unable to find the kills. The damage is there, but it's just not enough. The coordination's not enough to finish off targets.
T1 really needs to find a key engage on multiple members and layering all those AoE spells, that Rumble ult onto the Skarner ult with a Rakan. I feel like they're trying to find these big engages, but AL really like posterize themselves so well around these choke points.
I feel like the problem as well is the value from the center, that healing that keeps coming in is just gonna... There's a lot of sustain in the composition of AL. We do have Executioner's Calling on Gumayusi to cut that down a bit, but it means you're doing so much more damage than you would otherwise have to reduce that.
Shank's angle. Quickness, though, starts to solve onto Tarzan and stop. The Galio ult is stopped, but the Dawning Shadow, that line down for AL, can only do so much. In a choke, T1 have found something. KO gets over the back, but Tarzan's still alive. Takes forever to drive. It's a good shutdown, but how much did they need for Tarzan? T1, the best that they can find. I feel like a broken record because game one I was saying that's the best fight they've got. And then again, that was the best again.
The immediate TP down bot from Flandre is going to do some damage to the base. Guma's trying to get some damage here on Shanks. Might actually kill him.
He might kill him with a Valkyrie forward as well. Auto attack galore. Guma with the shutdown. There was a big shutdown to T1 before. It's a positive at the end. Apart from this, the fact that Flandre and his mistress are pushing in bot.
Small salvation there for T1 landing that pick onto Shanks, but I love how AL are approaching this retake of vision. Look at Tarzan and Kyle. They are close, but never together. That means that T1 is going to choose one of them to go on because they can never get a 2 for double deal.
And I feel like consistently Hope is in a position where he's getting all this value, all this utility over the top of the fight, but isn't really threatened. Constant Qs and the ult over the team fight. And now he wants to start Baron. This is desperation, but they need to make something happen.
At 5k, it's going down quick though, maybe a chance. T1 going to bring Owner in for the smite. Tarzan gets in, and the steal is not successful. T1, it's their Baron, but is it their game now? Owner's going to die. On the top, you see Doran is followed up by Tarzan, and Flandre bonks down. Teleport coming in. T1, the Baron, may have cost them more than they think.
Galio TPs in from behind there. Shanks is saying, I am here, and I am him, and I'm going to take your base. All of AL are scrambling to get all the buildings. Yorick is going to push top here. Probably won't be the game man, but all of T1's base shall be shattered.
That's the thing, they're just letting the Galio keep pressure mid. It's really hard for T1 to punish Shanks. In the meantime, the rest of them will just push through top. If they get triple inhib, the game is basically over. They'll take this hit too. Not sure if they'll have time to go further than this, but the TP coming in though.
They want to continue playing here, or at least one of them wants. It's an Alistar with TP, so it's probably he's going to walk out.
Yeah, respawn timers coming in. They won't get the triple inhib for now. The Baron is secured. And I think T1 have to be happy with what they got away with there. The game is in a dire spot still. Oh, Carrier, no.
What can you get? Carrier bopped on. The Alistar flash in. Carrier alive for now. It's a good impale, but Canada can't go back in. Shanks tanked out. Faker's angle. Not too bad. The equalizer gorgeous too, but Shanks as he goes golden. They're going to need a little bit more. T1 are trying to get themselves in for a fight. Kyle's going to die. It gets sketchy, but as Shanks jumps in, as Tarzan runs in as well, he too gets bopped, but the health bars are so low. Flandre just walking forward because T1 are doing nothing at all. Nothing at all. Stupid, sexy Flandre just doesn't care. T1, 3 members that low as Shanks bakes. Flaker over the side, get the flick back. It's not bad. Shanks still waiting though, patiently in fog of war. He's out, a 4-man. T1 punish anyone's legend.
And when things look dire, it's Guma who is stepping up for this team. In these fights, he's doing so much work. Just watch him. Carrier initially does get focused here, but manages to get value out of it. That quick ult response gets the CC, but throughout Guma is getting the damage down, but this time he is ensuring he is finishing off targets, finishing off anyone he sees who is low HP, and AL didn't really focus him down. Here he gets KL, is able to kite out of the Galio ult, starts putting damage into Tarzan, and it's just making sure he's seeing the targets down, but not being challenged, not being threatened. Takes out Hope here as well, and moves down to look towards Flandre on top of that.
Yeah, and the stone is being squeezed by T1. When everything looks dire, they step up and they find a miracle fight that no one saw coming. They keep getting away with it, and they're bouncing back into this game. Now the goal lead is only 4k, and they actually secured the dragon as well, which is going to be soul point in 5 minutes.
Been that same stone that couldn't get water out before. I mean, it must be tough because the fact it's proving results now is huge. When there's a 3k gold lead on Guma, when his back's up against the wall.
I mean, he's 5-1-2, 3k gold lead on him alone. He's nearly full build. Everything is on his back this game. He has said, I am not willing to lose this series, not yet. And T1 really relying on him to do everything in this game. They have the CC on the rest of the members. You can see Faker doing work, setting that up. He does have the Rabadons, which represents a good amount of damage, but really it comes down to what this Corki can do in these fights, and if he can stay safe and pump the numbers.
Adaptation by Doran going for the Sonya's third, realizing that he is just a decoy, a puppet that the enemies might hit while Gumayusi gets his damage out. Anything here to kind of give Gumayusi that space in teamfights that he needs to get damage onto the AL frontline, but it's so difficult. They're all so tanky. Approaching 4 items on all the front lines of AL.
But T1 found a way. They did it once, they can do it again. For AL, this game's not in the bag, and T1 are unrelenting. Tarzan trying to take away what he can. Ona does get the blue buff, though, for his entire team. So T1 have got mana reserves, but there's no objective for 2 minutes. This game is going to go mega late. Soul's also up in 3 minutes 20 for T1.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is that this next Dragon, you know, it's not even going to be Soul for AL. It's going to be Soul Point. It could be the Soul for T1 Share. It's a while away. There is the Baron in 1:45. About that time, we are going to have the inhibitors back up for T1 by then as well. So they've managed to stall out. Considering how bad the state of the game was before, they bought a lot of time, and they've really clawed things back to a good degree. They're not out of the woods yet, but they've managed to buy a lot of time that they didn't have before.
It's T1 and all their fans take a deep breath. To get back into the game, AL setting up the map. As you see, Tarzan and Kale are always in proximity, but never on top of each other. Kale gets a little bit chunked. Maybe this is an avenue for T1 to get back some of that vision that AL set up.
Would have been nice if they could get their ult there, Finn, I think. Because KO without ult would be big, but Faker maybe now going to do it. Separated is Tarzan. All it takes is a shove back, a pick. Tarzan has pulled out the Crescent Guard, but it's turning into an engage. Kyle just rips him asunder. Shield of Duran taken away, but Hope's got the range. Meanwhile, AL are going to fight down here, but Flandre doesn't mind at all. I look at AL, still fighting the fight, and T1 so overly ambitious. Faker thought he saw a way back into the game, but anyone's legend turn on a whim. If you want to fight them in the mud, they made the pit.
They thought they had an angle, but AL answer back. They shut down Guma, and with that, they shut down T1's hopes in the tournament.
Inhibitors at the very least, Finn. I think the death timers are too long.
Yeah, and AL is gonna get the revenge from Messiah. They're gonna get the things that was taken from them in the global stage as they look for the base.
It's best served at EWC, isn't it? The MSI rivals of T1 have been silenced, and the title defenders will not return to defend their crown. It's anyone's legend who are coming for that trophy. It's anyone's legend first international grand finals. Anyone's legend, Lila!
What a performance. I mean, what a performance, honestly, from all the members of AEL. They just woke up today and they chose violence. Especially, I think, Flandre.